Hello, it is I, Eatin Shit Food Reviews. And I'm here with a bit of an update on my life because, I've moved. I'm in a different place now. I'm in the process, kind of in the later process, of immigrating to the United States so that I can be with my fiance, who's the same person who edits these videos and usually does the videotape, and she's not around right now, so I'm just doing this one on my own. But yeah, we were separated for like a period of time just because the immigration process dictated that. But now that that's over, her and I are together again, and she's going to start taping the videos and editing them and such and so forth. So hopefully some level of production value comes back into the videos. Anyways, and also I'm just saying this to explain like that there's been an obvious change in scene, right, since I moved from my home to her home. Alright. So I'm here now with what is called Nobel's Super Soda candy. As you can see, it's already open, so I can give you guys a pretty, like, so maybe some more reflective commentary on this and experiential commentary, right? Because, I mean... But yeah, anyways, I'm here with Nobel Super Soda candy, and this happened now. I mentioned, I believe, in another review that I'd been to... Or if I had not mentioned yet, I've been to a place called TNT Supermarkets. Oh, that is right. It's the same place where I got this, the drink called The Pungency. Alright, while I was there picking up The Pungency, I also picked up this item, along with the Angry Lemon Dojo candy, or whatever the hell that was. So I decided, this had, like, a really, like, interesting piece of packaging, and, like, when you're buying foreign candies, it's really all that you can look at, right? Like, I don't have the interpretive ability, Oh, and that, and generally whenever anything says it's soda flavor from Japan, it's usually pretty good, like, you know what I mean? I had, one of the little pop and cooking, like fluff balls that I had. One of the do-it-yourself pop and cooking things was soda flavored, and that was actually really tasty. So I decided to stick it out, go with this thing. Now, the packaging is funny because it's made to look like a newspaper article. It's made to look like a newspaper article outlining the release of this candy and how big of a deal it is. You have these people on here screaming out, "Oh Soda" and "Oh Nobel," with these extremely distressed looks on their faces, which is actually really funny to me, right? Because it's it seems like I'm not so sure if that gives it gives the candy the greatest head of steam in terms of in terms of appeal. Whenever I see somebody eating something and seeming really panicked about it, it looks like the very second that it looks like the candy's merely resting on their tongue, like they're trying to minimize the contact with their tongue, and they look really worried about it, right? As if somebody placed a poisonous ball or something in there, you know what I mean? Here's your fucking here's your cat turd, eat that or something Anyways, so what it does, it has this whole thing. It's really funny because it has Nobel new release, what's Super Soda candy, and all these different little sub headlines. And all of them just have a bunch of gibberish essentially underneath, right? You know what I mean? It's just the same phrase that I can't interpret, repeated over and over again. And then on the back, it shows a little bit of a comic, which I've unfortunately ripped part of it. The top part of it shows a finger holding the candy, and then it shows these two 80s musicians, right? Or I don't know, the chick looks like Jem from she was an 80s musician superhero or something like that. For some reason in the 80s they had this whole thing where they had rock star superheroes, and they played the guitar or something stupid ass like that. I don't know. Anyways, so you have these two, and they're as you can see very calmly and contently placing the candy into their mouth, only to burst into song and superstardom. You know what I mean? And then they have a little cross section of the candy showing a powder in the middle. Two different kinds of powder. It says Shua Shua powder and Soda Taste powder. Soda Taste powder being on the outside, the Shua Shua powder being on the inside, and then the Super Soda candy itself. There's kind of all that's really interesting about this packaging. That kind of bizarre comic, and it gets a bizarre opening. And the bizarre front of the whole thing is it's kind of worth noting. But now I have the candy itself here. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna. Oh boy, here we go. When I first tried this, I was a little bit surprised, alright, because, the soda taste powder is actually extremely sour. It's sour as hell. It's like the coating of a warhead, right? Maybe that's a Japanese thing or something. Because I seem to remember that, when I was a kid, you could get those Warheads candies, and they weren't available everywhere, and I don't know if anybody remembers them either. But I seem to remember looking on the back saying that they were in fact an imported candy. So I don't know. Maybe it's like maybe it's a Japanese thing that like the whole extremely sour ball because those lemon dojo candies had the same like damn coating on them. So here we go. Oh boy. I'm hoping some of it rubbed off on my fingers when I was. Oh man. Whew. Alright, now we're into the good stuff. Once you get that past that sour stuff, I'm too fucking old to be eating sour things like that. It's too much of a shock. I'm a wuss, man. Anyways, once you get past that initial sour stuff though, fuck is that kind of delicious. Except for immediately as soon as you start to wear it down at all, there's more sour powder in the middle. It's the shooter powder or whatever. And it like carbonates in your mouth, you know what I mean? It's like fizzy. I apologize for that. It's I'm just trying to get rid of the powder inside. I don't know if like I feel like I can kind of understand the appeal of the sour stuff, but then I kind of can't. It's almost like getting kicked in the shins, right? Where for a while you have that like terrible pain, and then once you start to feel it go away, you get that like wave of relief wash over you. That's what it's kind of like to eat something so sour and then really tasty underneath. Thankfully, it's not too crazy though. They don't pour on the sour stuff too thick. It's also hard on the tongue though. That's another thing. These are fun though. You want to know something? If you're ever interested, I'd totally pick them up because the candy itself is like tasty as hell. It's so tasty. It's like tempting to eat them even regardless of the sour stuff, right? And then if ever you decide they're too sour for you, can dump them into a little dish and like, you know, lure an unsuspecting guest to try them. Like, here, try this candy. It's totally awesome. And then watch their face wince up or something. You know, tape it. I don't know. But, yeah. It's really good, though. Once you get to that candy, that is delicious. But that's what I say. You know what? Try these. Pick them up. If you want a numerical rating, I'd say, well, I'll give them 7.5 out of 10. They're good. They're good. If they probably weren't sour, I'd probably give them 10 out of 10. Because I love that, like soda flavor. Like, you know, that Japanese conception of, like, soda, this blue flavor that they have. But anyways, that's it. I'm done.